Last Day on Earth had many updates. Over the past 8 years, we have seen many features and mechanics implemented into the game. Some of these updates are, of course, really good, while some others are terribly bad. Saying an update ruined Last Day on Earth might seem like an exaggeration, right? LDOE is still a great game. However, I believe that the update we are going to talk about today greatly changed the way Kefir approaches Last Day on Earth, and it had a massive impact on many different aspects of the game. So much so that I can say confidently that it ruined Last Day on Earth. So, what is the update I'm talking about? Some of you might have guessed already, I'm talking about the introduction of seasons. Seasons were first introduced all the way back in 2019, with the first season starting the 12th of August. Without going into too much details for each season, back in the days, seasons started as a great addition for Last Day on Earth, because not only the seasons offered the players some great rewards, but what was also amazing was the fact that each season was unique, with never seen before content. They were themed around one aspect of the game, and on top of that, each had its own story, which made the seasons a great way to introduce lore into Last Day on Earth. To give a few examples, we all remember Season 3, which was the season where the ATV was finally added, along with Baker Bravo and the Swamp region, or Season 7, of course, with the prison event, which is considered by the community as one of the best events in Last Day on Earth history. These are only a few examples to show how great the first seasons were. But then, around the 20th season, the devs ran out of ideas. It seems they didn't have any more idea for a theme for a season anymore. And instead of simply stopping making seasons for a while until they come up with more creative and original ideas, Kefir decided to just keep releasing the same season over and over again. The theme was completely gone, of course. Now we are in 2025 in season 77, and most of us have probably forgotten that seasons had actual themes. And yeah, season 77, can you believe that? However, I can guarantee you guys, if you are a new player, don't worry about anything, because from season 20 to season 77, you have missed nothing. Seasons became repetitive, boring, with the same old events and tasks. There is no creativity anymore in seasons. None. But what's even worse is the fact that as time went by, developers started to focus more and more on seasons, events, and temporary content, instead of trying to implement fresh and brand new permanent content. This is something that I never seen in other games. I only see it in Last Day on Earth. You will rarely see a game where the developers focus all their time on making temporary events that will be gone by next week, or content that doesn't serve any purpose other to earn some extra rewards. Maybe they will make a special event, an event so good it would be considered a whole new game. But no, in Last Day on Earth, events are all the same. They get released every month, and sometimes these events are even pay to progress. Take for example the Hunter's Instinct. There is the event in the 21st of May. As we know, the event received a ton of backlash and criticism. So, you would think that the developers would take their time to actually work on the event, listen to the players' feedback, fix all the problems, and come back within 6 months or so with a better version of the event. Instead, they released a second time the event in the 15th of July, less than 2 months after the first one. And guess what? There are still problems as the one before. Most of the problems that we have noticed were not fixed and were ignored. And of course, yeah, it's better now for sure, but it is still bad. As I said, it still has the same problems. So, Kefir could have waited for a while, taking all the feedback in consideration, and slowly but surely work towards a better version for the event. But the reality is that what we see nowadays is that Kefir is shoving events down our throats. Event for this, event for that, event like that, event for this holiday. Like, do we really need to have an anomaly season? And on top of that, remember guys, these events are all temporary. They might not even come back at all. So, what are seasons looking like in 2025? Well, basically to sum it up, Seasons now are only here to give you some extra rewards. There are not really special tasks or something special for seasons. You simply need to play the game mindlessly, and that's about it. Now you might ask, how did seasons ruin Last Day on Earth? Well, for me, the first reason is the fact that Kefir nowadays is heavily relying on seasons and events. And it's pretty understandable. Because when you think about it, seasons are low cost, but can turn high profit. Developers don't really need to come up with new and original ideas. They can just pump out the same season with the same events over and over again, with a few good rewards here and there, a couple of minor changes from time to time, and players will happily spend money. The developers are content, satisfied with the state of the game. Not because the game has improved, but because the game can turn on high profit without having to do too much work. And this is exactly what has been happening for the past couple of years. Remember guys, the Port Laboratory was introduced all the way back in 2021, and since then we haven't seen many updates. We had of course the settlements and the transport hub, but from 2021 to 2024, all we have seen is events after event after event after event after event. However, I have to admit something. In 2025, I have to say that Kefir has changed quite a bit, for sure. With the Northern region and the Island region update and the upcoming updates for the other half of 2025, it seems Kefir is on the right path again. But also, you cannot deny the fact that it has been going downhill. And if Kefir would have continued like that, Last Day on Earth would probably be a dead game by the end of the year. The other problem I see in this game right now is the lack of creativity. As I said before, seasons just kept getting more and more repetitive, boring events with the same old concepts. No more innovation or creativity is put into the seasons and events, and it clearly shows. A clear example of that are the similarities we have in most events these days. The Commune event and the Headhunting Arena event have the same concept of killing bosses. The Pursuit of Luck and the Leprechaun's Luck have the same concept of spinning caps to progress in the rewards. Many events have the same game loop. For example, the Chinese Lunar Year, the Forlorn Fair, and the Hunter's Instinct all have something in common, and it's the fact that players have to exchange items and progress in a reputation system. Maybe the setting is different, but the core gameplay element always stays the same. So yeah, we definitely are starting to see the same ideas come back over and over again. The solution for this should be easy. Simply chill. Leave the game breathe for a second. We don't need to have a special event every month. Just work on something big, something exciting, and just take your time. And lastly, what I have noticed in a couple of events nowadays is the fact that every event now has a premium pass. It's not the worst thing, but for me, it's disappointing. I'm really starting to believe that events are made with the thought in mind to add some sort of microtransactions in them. Share your opinion in the comments down below. I really want to know your opinion on this. In conclusion, we might have different opinions on seasons, but we cannot deny the fact that seasons had a negative effect on the development of Last Day on Earth. We could have had many unique seasons centered around an original and creative theme. Instead, we are just in season 77. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the matter of seasons and events. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and bye bye.